words were instantly forgotten the minute I agreed to the date and time. Seth continued, "I will pick you up in, say, 10 minutes, and then it's Mara's blueberry pancakes all around." "I'm more than ready. I'll wait outside." I hung up the phone, put my juice back in the refrigerator, and walked out to wait by the front gate. My neighbor, Maeve O'Bannon, was puttering in her garden. She waved at me with a hand wrapped around green-handled pruning shears. "Early morning to you, Jessica. Best time of the day. I expect your book is finished." She caught me by surprise. "Yes, it is. I sent it to my editor last night. How on earth did you know?" Maeve laughed and bobbed her head, which set her gray curls bouncing. "Barely seen hide nor hair of you for the better part of more than a week, and now here you are, all smiley and chipper. I said to myself, book must be finished." I can't tell you what a relief it is. This particular story had far more than the usual stumbling blocks. Several times I feared I wouldn't get to send it off to my editor on time. I shivered at the thought. "Imagine that a former schoolteacher such as yourself would be late with an assignment. Now that would never do," Maeve said with a broad wink. "It absolutely would not," I agreed. "Seth and I are headed down to Mara's for a celebratory breakfast. Would you care to join us?" "I thank you for the invitation, but these roses need caring for." She snipped a tiny branch off her yellow tea rose bush as if to prove the point. "Next time, for sure." Never mind that this was not the first time I had invited her to join a few friends for a meal, and definitely not the first time she'd refused. Maeve seemed happiest working in her garden and in her kitchen. Even though she consistently refused my social invitations, I didn't take offense, because I knew she considered us good friends. It just was not her way to socialize. I heard a car roll up to the curb behind me. "Ah, there's Seth. Good luck with your roses." Mara's luncheonette sits directly on the dockside of the cove that gives our town its name. It is a homey restaurant in an old-fashioned sort of way, with a long oak straight plank counter, formica tabletops, and vinyl booths and chairs. The wide, high windows along the luncheonette's back wall provide a breathtaking view of the harbor, which I suspected generally had the tourists oohing and eyeing as soon as they walked in the door. But for most of Mara's regulars, that is, my Cabot Cove friends and neighbors, the real attraction is that the restaurant is definitely the town's gossip central, rivaled only by Loretta Spiegel's beauty parlor. Seth held the door open for me, and as I had expected, nearly every booth, table, and counter stool was occupied. The chatter and laughter of friendly conversations filled the air, along with the tempting smells of sausage and bacon sizzling on the grill. No sooner had I entered than I was overcome by an instant automatic yen for coffee and a short stack of Mara's award-winning blueberry pancakes. "Doc, Mrs. F., over here." Our town sheriff, Mort Metzger, signaled from a table he was sharing with Mayor Jim Shevlin and, surprisingly, Dan Andrews, a newcomer who'd recently become editor of the Cabot Cove Gazette when Evelyn Phillips decided it was time for her to move on. The last I'd heard, she was in Baltimore visiting relatives. I missed her and hoped she'd come to see me soon. "Are you sure you have room?" Seth looked doubtful. "I have to say that if you three are having some kind of confab about town business, we just as soon not interrupt." We all knew Seth meant that, as always. He didn't want to listen to any kind of serious talk while enjoying his pancakes. Dan Andrews immediately stood, looked around, and pulled a chair from a nearby table so that there were now 2 empty seats between his chair